15, not 16, 15. We're good? I see the head nodding. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of council meeting. It is July 11th. We have a quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. I'll pass it to Madam. I keep wanting to call you Madam Chair, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be available to the public for playback on our website in accordance with Council Policy 3.12. The purpose of a council meeting is to enact powers given to council using bylaws or resolutions and is the venue for debate of issues before voting on a bylaw or resolution. This meeting is being conducted through the city's One Meeting platform. However, we are experiencing issues with the PrimeGov solution for live meeting management that are still being addressed by the vendor. In the interim, we will not be using the system for voting and speaker management purposes. Instead, council has been provided with voting cards, green for in favor, red for opposed, yellow for point of order. We'll manually take notes of the votes and log them into the system. To be put on the speaker list, please physically raise your hand so the mayor can add you to his list. And lastly, please silence your cell phones if you have not already done so. Thank you.
Yep, they're on mute. Thank you very much. As always, like to start off the meeting in a good way by acknowledging that the city of Maple Ridge carried out its business on the traditional and unceded territory of the Katzie First Nation and the Kwantlen First Nation. We're going to go to item 2, amendments to the agenda. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. We do have an amendment tonight. We're adding item 7.6, appointments of candidates to the Mayor's Task Force on Climate Action.
Thank you. Now, would they have that on there? Would they see it? No, they wouldn't see it. So we need, it'll be on the screen. Oh, there it is. It's on the screen. Can you see it? Okay. If there are any other amendments to the agenda, seeing none, can I get a motion for the agenda? Moved by Councillor Youssef, followed by Councillor Doze. All those in favor? Motion has been carried. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Dewick, who's holding her card so low. All those in favor? Motion is unanimous and approved. Now we'll go to the adoption of the minutes from special council to close on June 6, 2023, special council to close on June 20th, 2023, regular council June 27th, 2023, and the special council of July 4th, 2023. Can I get a motion for the minutes? Moved by Councillor Doze, seconded by Councillor Dewick. All those in favor? Yeah, motion is unanimously carried. All right, now we're going to move over to the next item, which is consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
The consent agenda is items 7.1 through 7.6 tonight. The addition on the agenda was 7.6, the appointment of candidates to the Mayor's Task Force on Climate Action, including Simone Michelet and Bradley Griffin. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda, please? Moved by Councillor Schiller, seconded by Councillor Tan. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor of the consent agenda, motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to the next item, which is item 9. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. The next item is 9.1, application 2021-061-RZ for 21783 Low Heat Highway for housing agreement bylaw number 7945/2023. That along with zone amending.
That's 9.1.
That's
That's what I have for 9.1. Yeah, it is 2019-427-RZ 20. Oh, go away.
My apologies. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry. Let's start over with 9.1 here. 9.1 is application 2019-427-RZ for 20690 Lougheed Highway. And it's recommending the adoption of zone amending bylaw number 7609-2020. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Duick, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, please.
Next item is 9.2, application 2021-061-RZ for 21783 Lougheed Highway for housing agreement bylaw number 7945-2023. And along with zone amending bylaw 7721-2021, off-street parking and loading amendment bylaw 7860-2022, housing agreement bylaw 7945-2023, and zone amending bylaw 7719-2021 all be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by nobody. Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Chan. Any comments, questions? Councillor Youssef.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just real quick through you to staff. The last paragraph on the first page stating that building permits and development permits applied for in the future will be subject to any policies and bylaws and development requirements in place at the time of application. With the Fraser River Escarpment review, are we issuing the building and permits at this time?
Yes, we are, Councillor.
Okay, thank
Under
you
the
for
current
that.
conditions.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that. And secondly, Mr. Chair, if I may, not to build on the back of an application, but do we have any kind of time frame for when that review would be coming forward?
Thank you. So through the chair, we anticipate to be back to council right at the end of the summer break.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor? It is unanimously carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, 10.1. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Worship. Item 10.1 is application 2023-161-RZ for 12336 Lady Street. Rezoning from RS1 to R1. And the recommendation is to be given first reading to the bylaw 7951.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Duick. You guys are keeping me on my toes here. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to 10.2.
Item 10.2 is application 2023-184-RZ for 21308 123 Avenue. It's recommending first reading to zone amending bylaw 7947-2023.
Thank you. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Youssef, seconded by Councillor Schiller. That's what I like to see. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to 10.3.
Item 10.3 is application 2023-199-RZ for 21378 River Road. This is recommending first reading to zone amending bylaw number 7953-2023.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Schiller, seconded by Councillor Tan. Comments, questions? Councillor Schiller.
Thank you, Mayor Remy. Could I just get a bit of clarification from staff around that part of River Road where this application falls, just in terms of, is that an identified cycling route or pedestrian avenue? I'm just thinking back to our conversations this morning about the transportation plan, and I just can't quite remember what we're looking at doing down there.
Mr. Forrest.
Thank you. So through the chair, and so it's an arterial road network. And this section is quite constrained with available width for infrastructure. And so along this section of River Road, we're looking for off alignment, off street pathways. And so we just moved forward with the 117th multi-use path between 207th and Lady Street, and that provides an alternative to reduce those cycling and walking requirements on River Road itself, given the confined constraints.
Thank you very much. I've been here before. I just struggle with these applications. I like this form of development, but I have a hard time adding traffic to this road. And I just think sometimes, we're looking at things as a one-off, and I just sort of worry that we're not appreciating the cumulative effects. So I will be voting against this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments, questions? Being none, I will call the question. All those in favor? It is 6-1. Motion has been carried. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to 10.4, please.
Item 10.4 is application 2021-055-RZ for 25443 Bosworth Avenue. The recommendation in front of you is to give second reading and forward to public hearing zone amending bylaw number 7804/2021 with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Doze, seconded by Councillor Duick. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is unanimously carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to 10.5, please.
10.5 is application 2023-188-RZ for 21695 River Road. This is a heritage tax exemption bylaw, and it is being recommended for first, second reading and forwarded to public hearing.
Can I get a motion to move this, please? Moved by Councillor Schiller, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Questions, comments? Councillor Carreras.
Thanks. I just want to share with the community that have joined us tonight that there was a really good presentation and discussion around this one and the next one coming up around heritage sites and the history, and then the history behind why this comes forward and why this one's a little bit different, that it came forward after the heritage designation. So I just want to let the community know that if they want to learn more about this and see the presentation, that it was at our council committee of the whole last Tuesday. So just letting people know it's an interesting presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other further comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is unanimously carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to 10.6, please.
Item 10.6 is application 2023-189-RZ for 23575 124 Avenue. It is also a heritage designation and tax exemption bylaw number 7948-2023. And the recommendation is first, second reading and forwarded to public hearing. Thank you.
Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Duick, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Comments, questions? Councillor Carreras.
Sorry, just in the package, this is first and second reading, and just as you scroll through, it's the same package from when it went to committee of the whole. So it says we are here at committee of the whole, but it should be we are here at first and second reading, correct? Yeah. Okay. So I just want to point it out that we are at first and second and not just at committee of the whole from last week.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to 10.7, please.
Item 10.7 is application 2021-061-DP for 21783 Lougheed Highway. And the recommendation is to issue the development permit and authorize the corporate officer to sign.
Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Duick, seconded by Councillor Doze. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to 10.8, please.
Item 10.8 is application 2018-180-DP/DVP for 22057 and 22083 Lougheed Highway for development permit and development variance permit. 23 pieces of correspondence were mailed in relation to this application and 0 correspondence was received back. And the recommendation is to issue and authorize the corporate officer to sign.
Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Schiller, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to 10.9.
Item 10.9 is application 2019-427-VP/DP for 20690 Lougheed Highway for development variance permit and commercial development permit. 85 pieces of correspondence were mailed in relation to this application and 0 correspondence was received back. The recommendation is to issue the DP and the DVP and authorize the corporate officer to sign.
Thank you. Can I get a motion? Moved by Councillor Duick, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Comments, questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to 10.10, please.
Item 10.10 is application 2023-173-VP for 20426 Hampton Street for development variance permit. 14 pieces of correspondence were mailed in relation to the application and 2 pieces were received in opposition and distributed to council previously. The recommendation is that the DVP be issued and the corporate officer be authorized to sign. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Doze, seconded by Councillor Youssef. Any comments or questions? Councillor Schiller.
Thank you. It just look to have planning staff just review the history of this property for me a little bit. It seems like there is some background here that there was a purchase and the bylaw got changed and possibly a project came forward in the past. And I just want to make sure I'm clear on the timelines. If I could ask for that, please.
Mr. Goddard.
Sure, thank you. We know Laura Hammond is in the floodplain and the homes down there are 2 stories. They're starting to see some conversions. The zoning bylaw originally allowed the RS1, which was an 11-meter height that was then changed to 8 meters height because of some concerns previous council had with fit in some neighborhoods. And this wasn't particularly this neighborhood, but in other neighborhoods, we were having some struggles. The applicant bought the property when the bylaw still said 11 meters. But over the length of time in getting it to here, the bylaw had changed. So he felt burdened by the decision to reduce it. And then he went to the Board of Variance and he's now at council seeking this variance to again elevate the home out of the floodplain and have a suite on the main floor as well as the regular home above. So it's a bit higher than existing homes. We will likely see 3 or 4 more of these applications on the vacant lots nearby in the future.
Thank you. So sorry, the bylaw was changed in 2011?
It was changed in 2020. Sorry.
Thank you. No, sorry.
When the new zoning bylaw was
It's
brought in.
me. It's
Thank
been
you.
a long day. Yes. And so I guess, and the bylaw was changed because of concerns that the greater height didn't work within existing neighborhoods.
There was some concern in the existing neighborhoods where new houses were emerging in the RS1 zone that they were 3 stories and too high.
Mhm.
So we decided to reduce that down for the RS1 zone only.
Okay.
But if the council
Thank
looks at new zonings, they're RS1B, they can still be higher than that. Or council can seek to reduce them through a variance or a covenant. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, I can certainly appreciate the desire to have the secondary suite there, but just given where that puts us, it does seem like quite a variance. And so I will likely vote against it, although I'm interested to hear what others have to say.
Thank you. Councillor Youssef, followed by Councillor Carreras.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Having asked some questions about this application at committee of the whole, and as we've just heard that we are expecting more and more applications along these lines in that particular neighborhood. It being in the floodplain, most of the homes around the neighborhood are coming to or close to end of life, and it is a transitioning neighborhood that's becoming more and more and taking on the form of this particular home, and hence the variance that's before us. I would actually be of the mindset to encourage staff to look at relaxing the height restrictions within the floodplain so as to enable individuals and applicants to be able to put in the housing that's desperately needed within our community in their homes, not only as a mortgage helper, but to also help alleviate some of the stress and the demand for housing. So that would be my stance on this application. I would actually would like to see an area plan developed for not only this floodplain, but also in the Alouette region, whereby we accommodate the nature of the earth that we're building on it and where it is located. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Carreras.
Thank you. A question to staff on this one, and I think we chatted a little bit about this at committee of the whole. And mine isn't so much about the height piece, because of course the height piece just allows for this, but being that it is on a floodplain, and if we do this one, then like you said, there'll be more that will come. Is this going to put additional pressures on the ground in the floodplain? Or is there more of a risk? I know the risk is you've elevated, so it's not underground, it's only half underground. That's why there's the height variance. But are there some challenges or risks that we should be concerned about because of the location on the floodplain?
The floodplain is a feature. It's protected by dikes now, of course, so it's safe. There are two ways of dealing with it. You could fill the site and then manipulate the grade through that way and create more of a problem for your neighbors because all of a sudden you're in a worse situation.
Yeah.
This, they're raising the height by the building with a crawl space. So really it's a 2-story home still on a crawl space. So that's what achieves the 11-meter height. I think that's a better option than filling. Given all the homes are largely built in the area, you couldn't do that. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thanks. I feel a little bit torn with this one just because it's the floodplain and it's the first one, but I also kind of reconcile it with the sense that really the reality is that most people can only afford a house these days if there's some mortgage helper within the house. So not only does it help to give places to renters, but it also helps people purchase a home. And so I'm leaning on the side of supporting this, but I will say I'm a little bit torn, mostly because of the region and where it is. And it will be kind of unique to this situation, but as we've heard, it won't be unique for long. So thank you.
Councilor Chandler.
Thank you, Mayor Remy. And I'm happy to hear, it's really useful to hear staff speak about this more to help me understand the floodplain situation. I think I'm happy to echo what Councilor Carreras and Councilor Youssef said. I think it's a good opportunity to work with homeowners. I'm hearing that this is something the homeowners want and that we are likely to see more homeowners who will be looking to the city to have that mortgage helper, to have a place for their children to live or for their family to live. And I'm happy to say that we can work with the owners on this and that we can line up. And I can understand that from what we're hearing from staff, that this is a safe thing to do, that from the professional opinion that we're given is that this is safe and this is something that staff are happy to have us move forward with. And then the other piece, just reflecting on what we heard this morning about a strategic transportation plan, that the best transportation plan is a good land use plan is a good transportation plan, or is it the other way around anyway? You have a good land use plan, you have a good transportation plan. And so given that this is also quite close to the West Coast Express, this is in a shorter distance away from the R3 and then from the future upcoming BRT stops. I'm happy to support this and I look forward to seeing other applications of this similar nature come forth as well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, I will ask one question. So there's somebody online?
Sorry, that was I did ask to speak earlier.
Who's that?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
So I'm a homeowner in the neighborhood.
No, unfortunately, you were not at that stage where you can actually come in with comments, unfortunately. Just one moment.
Is that going to be tonight?
Just one moment, please. Yeah, so the applicable place for you would be during question period, which is item 13. Hello? Yeah. Is that okay?
I was kept off. I'm not sure what you said.
Yeah, so we're not at question period just yet. So
Okay.
when we call for question period, then you can come in and speak for 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, coming back to my question. So I understand the timeline that Councillor Schiller was talking about. And you had mentioned that we're going to see a few more of these based on their timelines. Do we have a general idea? Are they all in the same area? Or are they going to be next door to each other? And if so, would the cumulative effect have be an issue?
We suspect there's been one built already and probably 2 or 3 more to come. These were originally lots owned by the city, if I recall correctly, and we sold them numbers of years ago and built the road extension into them. They were the last of the unbuilt ones almost down in that area. And now these homeowners are wanting to put suites in them, which means they have to elevate them through the crawl spaces. So these homes will all be a cluster of probably homes that are a little bit taller, probably at least half a story to a story taller because of the 5-story crawl space that meets the elevation of the floodplain.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay, Councillor Schiller.
Thank you. So in this particular proposal, I think, Mr. Goddard, you had said it did go to the Board of Variance. And does the Board of Variance make a decision one way or the other about supporting the variance?
They do. They are independent of council. A variance can be brought to them. If they want to deal with it, they can. If they don't, they can say no. And then an applicant could then take the matter directly to council.
Okay. And so did the Board of Variance deny this?
I believe they didn't. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Previous one that came to council a year ago was denied.
There was one of the other homes down there that was denied. The Board of Variance may probably, because they denied that one, probably felt they shouldn't deal with it and referred it to council.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other further comments or questions? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Okay, motion is carried 6-1. Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk.
The next item on the agenda is item 13, public question period. So for members of the public who would like to speak, if you're attending in person, please come to the podium when the mayor invites speakers and clearly state your name and city of residence before beginning comments. If you're participating electronically, please register as a speaker by clicking on the raise hand icon and turning your mic and camera on. When you're called on, please clearly state your name and city of residence. Participants are reminded there should be no discussion of public hearing bylaws which have not yet reached conclusion, and each speaker will have 2 minutes to speak to council. Time allotted for this is 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There is no one in council chambers. We'll go to participants online. And, oh, there she is. Nicole?
Hi. Sorry.
Oh.
So I just want to clarify that it actually this location up tonight and that the neighborhood necessarily around the height of the homes. It's around the traffic and the parking that these homes plus suites bring. So there's been 2 new homes put onto this neighborhood recently. One of them has about 14 residents with about 8 vehicles that are attached to that, blocking the entrance of Lorne and Eltham to come in to begin with. So it's already usually down in the evenings to a single lane traffic only. In addition, the home that has been built there with a suite that was done without permits in the beginning has about 10 parking stalls or whatever, 10 vehicles required for that home. If you put 5 more homes back there, the cumulative effect will be about 50 more vehicles coming up and down our little area here, with the addition of the 10 that are already there. In addition to that, at the end of Hampton Street, there is a zone allotted there. I think it's a light residential or light industrial. It is currently up for sale with a proposed 8 more lots in that one little area, with no additional exit or entrance points to the neighborhood. There's children that play at the corner at Lorne and Eltham. Because the house is so big, there's no yard for the children to play in. So when you turn that corner, oftentimes it is a very close call already. I can only imagine what 50 more vehicles, plus if that 8 lots goes by, another 5 to 10 per household, another 40 vehicles back there. I don't see how it's going to happen. I mean, if city wants to come in and open the road to Melville and have that access point, I think it would alleviate, but I don't think that's in the plans, nor is it going to happen. So it's more a safety concern, it's more of a congestion concern, and it's more of an cumulative effect concern. Also, I did want to let you know, to answer one person's question earlier, I've lived here for 17 years and my backyard has repeatedly sunk, and I'm one of the higher level homes up on the clay. They are in a swampland. When they originally drilled down 60 feet, they did not hit hard pan. So it does continuously sink back here. And that's from 17 years of experience living here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your comments have been noted. And yeah, thank you very much for your feedback. Is there anyone else online that wishes to speak? Seeing none, and there is no one else in council chambers, we will move on to the next item. Thank you. Item 14, Mayor and Council verbal reports. Councillor Carreras, followed by Councillor Youssef.
Thank you. Just a couple of meetings since our last council meeting. One was the Maple Ridge Pitt Meadows Arts Council. And just one thing of note actually 2 things of note I really want to share is coming up this weekend, Corpus Dance Company is doing something in Memorial Peace Park. It's something very new and exciting called Le Boule. It's basically a bubble, and they do it from 8:30 to 9:30. It is ticketed, so I encourage you to go buy tickets. I wish I was here to see it because it looks super cool. So it's done just as the sun goes down. It's sort of a mime. Tickets are really reasonable. I encourage everyone to check it out and bring your family. The other thing is the Arts Council Act Presents has now been released for the next season, and there's some super cool acts that are there. And the Arts Council, or the Arts Club, is also coming back to the community as well. So I encourage you. Tickets are on sale; they sell out very quickly. To go and check those out. And we had a public art steering committee last week as well. Nothing really major to note of that. We welcomed our new committee member, Leanne Cohen, to the table, and we had some really great discussions around some opportunities in the community that we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Youssef.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My report is going to start off on a less than pleasant note. Not really. On June 28th, I, as part of the Liquid Waste Committee, had the opportunity to tour the North Shore wastewater treatment plant that's under construction. It is a mammoth of a project. The amounts of concrete and rebar that's going in are nothing that I've seen before. This is bunker size reinforced walls. It is unique in that it is a stack design of a water treatment plant, unlike the one that we see across the river here that's meant to be flat and open to the air. This one is actually, because of the stack design, is enclosed and can fit right in a residential, or in this case, commercial neighborhood, without causing a great disturbance and the inconvenience that would be coming if one was to live next to an open water treatment, wastewater treatment plant. And it was just really phenomenal to see something like that and how resilient the building is being built, both for seismic activities as well as, of course, the corrosion and all that goes into the liquid waste. That's the least pleasant of my report tonight. On June 29th, Councillor Dozy and I had the pleasure of visiting the Albion Community Center as they celebrated their 1-year anniversary, and staff did a magnificent job of coordinating with the school dismissal on the last day of school. It was really good. They had popcorn, cotton candy, couldn't partake in either because both him and I had to run, but just wanted to recognize staff for doing that. And of course, recognize the Albion Community Center as it celebrates its 1-year anniversary. I've heard great things about the facility from user groups, and everyone who's visited it are really impressed by it. And I look forward to more of those types of facilities, Mr. LeBon. And lastly, on July 7th, it was the first of 3 this summer, I believe, Rock the Block parties at Robertson Heights. And again, staff really have outdone themselves. I walked in and my jaw was on the floor of how great a community block event it was. They had the rock climbing wall, they had, which I attempted and I lost against my daughter, racing her up the wall. Youth won on that occasion. Maybe next time experience. We'll see. We'll do best 2 out of 3. There was also food trucks. The movie of the evening was Super Mario Brothers, which again was really well received by the community, and it really felt so good to be part of a neighborhood like that, that's so tightly knit, where neighbors are coming out, people that were hanging out on their front yards, in their aprons, in their driveways, and just being part of it all. And again, great reception, and thank you to staff for doing that and taking that on. And I look forward to the next 2, I believe, that are taking place this summer, and to more in the coming years. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dewick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to highlight this Saturday, the Haney Builders is having their block party. Oh, sorry, were you going to say that?
It's okay, go ahead.
Okay. And it's a really excellent event. They did it last year, live entertainment. They have food vendors, all kinds of things. And in addition to that, the Business Improvement Association is also holding a night market in conjunction with that. The night market's a little bit later, 6 o'clock till 9, but the block party's from 3 till 9. So it is really a fun event. So I encourage everyone to get out and participate. And one last thing, I did want to compliment our staff. I drove down the 117th corridor the other day because the last council, when that was going on, we had some feedback about it, but it is absolutely remarkable, really well done. To me, the neighborhood looks fantastic, and it's really great. It's an alternate to River Road, so it's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no others, I will just jump in here, and you took the words right out of my mouth for the block party. But that just showcases what a fantastic month we have in July. There's so many events that are going on. I encourage everybody to try and get out, pass the word around on your social media. Staff are really doing a fantastic job of showcasing Maple Ridge. On that note, on Canada Day, the Royal Canadian Legion did a fundraiser barbecue for the fire victims from Brown Street, and it was probably one of the best burgers I've ever had. They raised about $2,700 in that afternoon, which was fantastic. As for the rest of the fire fund, the community foundation, once it's all said and done, it's looking like there's about $25,000 in that fund. I encourage folks who have not signed up with community services, please go and sign up. Let people know if they were affected by the fire. Sign up with community services, and what they'll do is in about a week or so, they'll start to determine how to distribute the funds that were collected from that. Aside from that, next week, not this week, next week is Bard on the Bandstand. And the great Shakespearean event is not King Lear, but Viking Lear. There might be a Mayor Viking in there somewhere on stage. So I'm just, not that you have to come and see, but it promises to be a very fun evening. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. This week is in Pitt Meadows. Last week they held 2 shows in Mission. So we have the benefit of them becoming the best Bard folks because of all the practice that they've had. And like I said, Viking sword, can't write a better script for me. That's all that I have to add. So seeing how there's no other, Councillor Schiller.
I was leaving Canada Day for you,
Oh.
but I would be remiss if I did not just say how great Canada Day in Maple Ridge was this year. It was an honor to participate. Thank you to everybody that came out. I've worked a lot of events in that park and I have never seen it that busy. And I really thought there was something there for everyone. I thought it was very thoughtfully done. And I appreciate everyone who came out. And I just really wanted to thank staff because I know a lot of time and effort goes into pulling something like that off. And it was very well organized and well done. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all very much. Seeing as how we have no further business, we will adjourn for the evening. Thank you for a wonderful day.